Hey all, here at OS Reviews, you're watching our unboxing and first impressions look at the TicWatch Pro, a highly unique Android Wear smartwatch that has a dual-layer display. The two screens are sandwiched on top of one another, the top, which is a transparent LCD that behaves very similar to low-cost digital watches that has a monochrome black and white screen, and underneath a more conventional AMOLED display with a 400 by 400 pixel resolution measuring 1.4 inches diagonally. So when the AMOLED screen is turned off, you can still read things such as the time as well as steps you've taken, so it's basically an always-on implementation. But also, the watch claims to have outstanding battery life because it's able to switch back and forth between these two displays. It also has a very interesting band because the top layer is made out of genuine leather, and on the inside it's made out of rubber, which is more resistant to things like sweat and water. So again, it has a very interesting hardware design, as expected from Mobvoi, which has been one of the most promising smartwatch wearable companies in recent years. Taking a look at the packaging here, it's very simple, and we have just some basic specs. Again, it is running on Wear OS by Google this time, as opposed to the first generation TicWatch and the TicWatch 2, which ran on a proprietary OS from Mobvoi. On the back here, some basic specs. Now, the device does have a quad-core processor coupled with 4 gigs of built-in storage and 512 megabytes of RAM, which are all pretty typical specs for a Android Wear smartwatch, and they're kind of the same as what we saw on the TicWatch 2 as well last year. So in terms of the processing power, there's not a huge gap. In addition, the battery life is rated to last around 5 days using that layered hybrid display, and if you only use it in the eco mode with the top display, it can last about a month or so, which is again very impressive compared to, say, the Apple Watch, which can only last a day or two tops. Despite the innovation, Mobvoi has always historically undercut the competition in price, and the TicWatch Pro is another great example. It retails for only $250. That's about $100 less than the newest Galaxy Wear watches, and same thing goes compared to other Android Wear watches, which are in the latest generation. It is definitely one of the cheapest options you can find on the market, so I'm glad to see that Mobvoi has continued to be competitive in terms of pricing. Packaging here, we also have a quick user manual, a pretty detailed booklet that goes through all the various features in multiple languages. We also have the charging cradle, and that's it. So the charging cradle this time is not using wireless Qi, but rather it's using these contact points. We have just a screen protector on the very top that we can peel off, and a few accents and another protector on the back here as well that gives us some warnings about the device. And that's it. So taking a closer look at the design first, on the very back we do have this stainless steel finish, which is kind of industrial. It looks very sporty. We have these contact points for charging. There's the optical heart rate sensor and some basic specs printed on all of the edges here. And immediately we can see that the rubber on the inside here is textured to make it feel slightly more comfortable. The watch bands are of course removable and you can use your own or replace them. But on the other side we do have that leather finish. So it has a professional look on the outside but more comfortable on the inside. Let's start with a quick size comparison. So here it is next to the aforementioned TicWatch 2, and it also has this crown now, also made out of this aluminum material that etches all the seconds, so it definitely looks more like a sporty, more professional watch. On the side here we also have crown keys, which are physical now for selecting things and turning it on, compared to the touch strip, which was a capacitive sensor on this variant. And also the Stratos, aka the Pace 2, which is a lot more similar to the TicWatch Pro in terms of dimensions. It seems like these smartwatches have been getting a little larger after each generation, which is pretty interesting. But it also has these tick marks on the sides and physical crown keys, which makes navigation easier if you're wearing gloves or if you're trying to use this outdoors when the weather isn't so pleasant. Say that the TicWatch Pro is definitely the heaviest out of the bunch. It feels the most premium in terms of the weight so far. So I've tapped on the top key here, which seems to act as a power button, so we are proceeding through the initial boot right now, and let's just see how long it takes to power up. Because it has that, again, dual layered display, if we look at it across a kind of a reflective angle, you can kind of see that the display color is slightly more brown in terms of its shade. If you look at it head on, it is still very traditional and inky and black because it's an AMOLED screen underneath, but that's a slight difference there because it has multiple layers, more layers sandwiched underneath this Gorilla Glass on the front. So right now it says try and proceed in multiple languages. So tap to begin, and we are going to select English here. The screen here seems to be quite sensitive. Alright, so on the phone, I've gone ahead and downloaded Wear OS, which is a free app in the Play Store, and let's try opening it up. The TicWatch is now showing up. We're going to select that, and it's now going to, I guess, connect to our account and sync up the time information automatically. It says we are connected right now, and it's found our TicWatch Pro as well, which is showing up as a diagram. We can also explore what types of notifications, what types of apps we want displayed, in addition to the style of the watch face, where we have hundreds and hundreds of options to customize from and download more options from Google. Alright, and now we have our first peek of the first display, which is that regular LCD panel on top. It's technically transparent because when it isn't displaying anything, we're able to see the AMOLED screen perfectly underneath. We can tap on it once, and the watch's AMOLED display pops onto life, and from here we're able to, I guess, swipe up to have access to the tutorial. Notifications will appear here, swipe up again. This is a sample notification, tap to get more details. And this is how it displays. We can now scroll through or slide over from the right to exit out of it. Press the power button to go back to the watch face, and press button to see apps. So this will show our list of all applications stored on the device here, including health apps, our phone dialer so we can make phone calls if we're paired to our device, Google Translator, Google Weather, all of this information. Tap on it again, we'll go back onto this main watch face. The bottom key here seems to be mapped to fitness functions, so these are actually done by Mobvoi, so it's slightly customized from what we have just from stock Android Wear. We can do outdoor runs, we can do outdoor walks, indoor runs, cycling, freestyle, so a number of different activities. Other quick commands, we can long press on the top key here to access the Google Assistant for quick voice searches, and I can also long hold on the bottom key here to bring up either going to essential mode to save on battery or to restart the watch. So we'll be doing a lot more testing with this watch and come out with a more complete review on it soon, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been our unboxing and first impressions look at the very unique and innovative TicWatch Pro, a dual display smartwatch running on Android Wear.